I do not.
Welcome to Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast.
Well,
that was kind of sloppy.
Welcome in to Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast, and that was sloppy.
I feel like there's more beer in that can than the can can hold.
Well, whatever it wasn't holding is now on the table.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
You can find us at avgffpod.com. You can go there, click the buttons, go to the places, give us the likes, the follows, the subscribes. You can listen on the website. Go do the thing. Help us get our numbers up. Anyway, we have a beer of the week. So tell me about it.
So this is a Carnival Brews company. So it's Carnival Cruise Brews.
Got you. You supposedly can only get this beer on a Carnival Cruise.
On a Carnival Cruise. So someone happily walked it off for us. It is a beach lager. It's called Parched Pig by Craft Brews, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's a beach lager. It says refreshing, crisp, and golden. A sunny touch of sweetness with subtle floral and bready notes. I never heard bready before.
Never heard that. Never heard of the screw. So it tastes like a sandwich.
Yeah,
a citrus sandwich.
Yeah, born a floral sandwich.
Floral sandwich. Flower.
Tastes like
flower sandwich.
A rose and lily sandwich.
That sounds terrible.
Born on Carnival Cruise Line, bursting with flavor. All about that relaxed. But yeah. So I was told that their brewery.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say.
No, it's not. Is actually on the ship, and then they can it and put it back, and then they only sell it on their ship. It's not bad. It's 4.9%. It's nothing special though.
No, it's just
a lager. I mean, it's just a.
I can definitely taste the floral.
Yeah,
aspect.
a lot more than the bready.
Yeah, I don't know what bready means.
Yeah,
I have no idea what that
I was
means.
hoping that when I read it, then I could taste it again and be like, oh yeah, that does taste like a sandwich. But
yeah,
no,
I will say this: it's not a beer that I would order. Once I would have one and be like, "That's enough."
Yeah, but like I tasted it.
Yeah,
that's all I need.
I'll go back drinking natty.
Yeah, give me a Yingling, and we'll be done with this Colt 45 something. It's just no.
Yeah, it's nothing special, but it's also like, you know, if I'm drinking a Mick Ultra, obviously there's nothing special.
Yeah.
But it's just a beer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This one, it's nothing special, but it has enough flavor that I don't like, if that makes sense. It's not like it's gross. I don't want to say it's gross, but it has enough flavor where I'm just like, I don't really want more of that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Let me try. I will say sometimes these beers get different the more you drink. So let me try a couple more sips and just see.
Sometimes it's just a bit. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, it's like I said, it's not bad. It's just
not bad.
It's just a beer.
Yeah.
To me, it's just a beer.
I will say, if you prefer a lighter lager type beer that has flavor,
like that has
that you can taste notes of stuff, then this is as long as you're cool with the flavor of it, is definitely.
And you're on a ship. Like if you're out in the ocean and there's nothing else to drink, then oh man, give me 10 of these things.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't turn it down if it was given to me. But
part of the package or something.
Yeah,
They're like, you get 40 of these.
Yeah, I could get down with that.
Yeah, I could do that.
So,
but yeah, it's not terrible. Parched Pig by Carnival Brews.
Yeah,
so, I mean, not.
That was also my nickname, my stripper name.
Parched Pig.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
All right, excuse me. There is a little bit of news to get to, so go hit this.
Goody.
Nope, that's not it. The news button is it this one?
Holla.
Nope.
Almost.
One day I'll figure these buttons out. Jesus, that's loud. I should have turned that volume down. Hopefully I can fix that volume in post, because that was a little loud.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So two things. It seems like it's not anything major, but Najee Harris did somehow have a superficial injury to his eye over 4th of July. Because the teams aren't required to release anything right now, it's been kind of weird of it, what's going on. But Najee's agent did come out and say that he will be ready to play. It's a superficial. Now, superficial doesn't mean it wasn't bad. I'm not 100% sure what superficial means. I just know that it sounds like when you hear, oh, it was a superficial injury, it's like, oh, so it wasn't that big a deal. It's like, no, it was superficial. And so maybe I should have look up what superficial means, but I know it's like you got official, but then you got superficial.
Yeah. It's like, I'm a little bit vicious.
You have official.
Yes.
And then you get superficial. So it could be more official than official. I don't know.
Yeah, who really knows what words mean, right?
But apparently he's going to be fine. So it's definitely something to monitor. And then the other news is Quinshon Judkins was arrested in Florida for domestic assault. It was a misdemeanor charge, but he did go to jail, and this will carry a minimum of 6 weeks if it comes to pass that he did what he's being accused of and all that.
From what I read, it sounds pretty guilty.
It doesn't look good at all.
Straight punched her in the face and then was hitting her in the arm and leg or something in the back seat. There's going to be, I'm sure at some point there'll be pictures probably of her that come out, or it's going to ramp it up. It's obviously a terrible situation and all that. So it's the fantasy implications are they were already talking that Jerome Ford was going to be the starter. That was already kind of the news coming out of Cleveland, not from the team, but from like the beat reporters. So I would say that this definitely will put Jerome Ford back in the driver's seat. They obviously don't have Chubb there anymore. Dylan Sampson to the moon, baby.
Dylan Sampson, I think he's like a 6th or 7th round pick, but he's definitely if you're in Dynasty, he's somebody you want to just grab and throw on roster because, running backs more than anything, these guys can hit even if it's for a season.
I picked him up late, like last pick in, I don't know, 3 or 4 leagues. Like I've got him quite a few places accidentally. No intent. It was just like, let me just grab this guy. Looking for running back depth always. I'm always trying to scrounge.
And Cleveland didn't put a whole lot of faith in Jerome Ford. They brought him back, but they made him take a pay cut.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't as though they're like, hey, we're going to pay you to bring you back. And they're like, hey, you want to come back, but you're going to have to, we're only paying you this.
Yep.
And so he came back begrudgingly, as far as that goes. And then we're still waiting on a bunch of first rounders to sign.
There was a 4th round pick.
He was 4. Okay, so that's a little bit better than I thought.
And he played receiver in college.
Yeah.
So he's a little.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody I would 100% roster in Dynasty if he's on your waivers.
He's a little smaller than I like, but I just remembered getting him a couple places, or having him when the news came out. I was like, who else is there? I knew Jerome Ford, but I thought they drafted somebody else.
Yeah, and Pierre Strong is still there too.
Yeah,
so which he hasn't really done anything. But I would say right now the two that I would be invested in Dynasty is Ford and Sampson, and then the only one I would invest in redraft is Ford.
Yeah.
But let's see. There is a little bit of contract stuff going on. Terry McLaurin is pretty upset right now with the team. He's trying to capitalize on his one good season finally with a quarterback that could get him the ball. And I hope he gets the bag. Good for him. Garrett Wilson got paid.
Yes.
Which is good. If you've got him in Dynasty, they've made a commitment to him. It's a little bit better on paper as far as his standing. Is like it says he's the first 3-year receiver to make an average of $31 million, which is just it's like a weird way of trying to boost up his.
We didn't pay you a whole bunch, but it looks good.
I mean, he's making an average of $31 million, but it's like compared to these other big time receivers. But it's just it's just a way of these guys got to have their egos stroked. I don't know if Garrett Wilson's really a diva type, but he plays a diva type position, and all these guys that's the way. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the way that they're defined in the as their status among their the other receivers or other people of the position is how much you make.
Yep.
If you're the highest paid of the position, then that tells everybody you're the best of that position according to what they think. But the thing is Jamar Chase is getting the bag now, but next year the 5th best receiver will be making what he's making now.
And you can go back to what Jacksonville did with Christian Kirk and freaking Zay Jones and gave him freaking fat stacks on fat stacks.
Or even what Belichick did that same year with it wasn't Kendrick Bourne, was it? No, it was who was the receiver that he brought in and paid? The guy that can't catch babies.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, who was it that can't catch babies?
He used to be the Philadelphia receiver.
Oh my god.
Oh god, it's like
this is the worst.
Oh god.
Is this how you feel
Aguilar,
all the time? Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson Aguilar. There it is. Not just Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar wouldn't catch him.
Right.
That's one of the greatest clips ever in the history. If you haven't ever seen it,
it's
go
gold.
look up. There's a clip when Nelson Aguilar played for the Eagles, where there was a man who saved some children from a house fire where they were on the second story, and I can't remember if the kids jumped to him or if someone else like tossed the kids to him, but he caught them and he was being interviewed about it. And I remember the exact question that was asked, but his response was, not Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar wouldn't catch him because he had dropped some passes in games, and it was like all over the U.S. Either way, I don't know what you would Google search to find that, but it's an old clip and it's absolute gold. This guy, in the midst of being a hero, has to absolutely take shots at Nelson Aguilar
right in the middle of the interview and everything. Yeah.
It is absolute gold. But and that's how we remember Nelson Aguilar.
That's always
he can't catch babies,
man. I still couldn't remember him. It's been so long since that's been brought up.
Yes, but yeah, he got paid a whole bunch of money for the market that year. Here it is.
Smoke started getting worse. Then I seen a guy hanging out the window, screaming that his kids was in there and things like that. So I ran to the back door, see if it was open, and it was. I ran upstairs, and then I was breathing the smoke. I ran back downstairs. By that time, the ladder truck was pulling up, and ironically, then one of my old coworkers took the ladder off the truck, raised it up, and assisted people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. We was catching them. Unlike Aguilar and his mishaps, I like to put that out.
Unlike Aguilar.
Unlike Aguilar.
They was just throwing babies, and we was catching them, unlike Aguilar. So nonchalantly.
He's like, I just want to put that out there.
Man, it's almost like he's the opposite of Aguilar's agent. He's he's the
antithesis. Antithesis.
There you go.
That's not
it's pretty close.
Antithesis.
Let's not do this. Easy for you to say.
You know what? I didn't think that word was a problem for me until just now. It just became a problem for me. So
I've learned
that might be the first time I've ever used that word in a sentence. So that's good to know. It's good to know now that I'm going to avoid that word. The opposite.
The opposite. I'm just going to stick to the opposite of the agent.
Wow, we're off to a freaking hell of a start.
Yeah, it's pretty
nice.
Anyway,
so there's all that. We took shots at Nelson Aguilar.
One more contract though. It's not offense; it's a defensive contract. Sauce Gardner got paid.
Yeah,
the highest paid. I think it's 120 million for 3 years or 4 years.
I mean, they realize that they have two studs there. Sauce Gardner, it might be the best corner in the NFL. And Garrett Wilson is easily a top 15 receiver in the league right now.
So they're dishing out money this year.
So I'm telling you, man, and we're going to talk more about the Jets here in a minute because I might be crazy, but
4 year 120.4 million. Yeah, for Sauce.
And it was I think it was a 4 year 130 million or something.
For
it might not be 4 year, but I'm pretty sure it was 130 million or
Wilson's,
something like that.
Yeah,
it was 90 million guaranteed.
Yeah. It was a big contract. I just remember seeing Sauce. Sauce just came across today. Yeah. So,
and here's the thing: the Jets are super smart for doing this. It's like it kind of is. I feel like there's a change in New York with the Jets, and they're super. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's the news. And like I said, there's some first round picks that still haven't signed. Higgins, the first round receiver for the Texans, signed, and he got his whole contract guaranteed. His rookie contract 100% guaranteed. So that's creating a new market issue, and that's why these guys right now are. There's some people holding out because it's like, hey, he got 100% guarantee. I want mine.
I want all my money too.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm all for it, at least on their rookie contracts, because these guys put their bodies out there. It's like you look at these basketball and baseball. These guys get these freaking contracts, and their bodies don't go through near as much, and this all guaranteed. I mean, freaking Bobby Bonilla still gets paid. And that guy hasn't played baseball in years. Bobby Bonilla Day, he still makes like over $1 million every year. Which we could do a whole podcast on Bobby Bonilla's contract, but
it's the contract I would want.
Oh my God, it's amazing. There's a Ponzi scheme involved, which is part of the reason why it's set up the way it is. But anyway, so let's move on to breaking down the AFC West. I meant East.
Allegedly.
We'll figure it out.
There it is. It'll be AFC something or another.
Yeah, I'm on my piece of paper last week. We did the AFC West, and that's at the top of the page.
Yes.
And then the other half is the East, and I was looking at the West when I said that.
I have balls on the bottom of my page from last week. So
yeah, that's not your handwriting, and that's not my handwriting. So someone else came in here.
I think it's Milo, probably.
Milo, definitely.
It's probably
Milo definitely rewrote that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do a little different. We'll just go ahead and give our orders of what we think of these players.
I'll go ahead and
I'll talk. I think we have the same order. Again.
Same order. Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about them in order, starting at the bottom, and work our way to the top. So we both, and we'll give our records at the end. So we both have the Dolphins.
Oh, I lied to you. Never mind. We don't have the same order.
Okay.
I got the Pats and Dolphins swap. So
okay. So I have the Dolphins.
You have them in the bottom of it, and I have them in the third of it.
I'm looking for their team. The probably going backwards because I'm in the P's, or is this by division? Anyway, I have the Dolphins at the end of the division, or finishing at the end of the division, finishing last in the division. And I'll go ahead and give the record. I got them 7-10.
I got them 6-11. So
okay,
so it's a similar record, but I just got the Pats' schedule looks tough to me. I don't like looking at it. That's why I think they got a few games. Yeah,
that's what it's done. I was trying to figure out. I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll through this website to get to the teams that I want to talk about, and I just realized that it's all done by rankings. So. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go. I'm going to hit a back button here, and so I'll go ahead. I got 7-10. My thing is I feel at this point, I just think that they're going to obviously take a step back. I think that McDaniel's coaching proclivities have started to weigh on the rest of the league. I think the defense is starting to figure him out, and I think that Tyreek's getting old.
Yep.
They haven't really upgraded a lot of their skill positions. They brought in Westbrook-Ikine, whatever. Waddle, it seems like he's going backwards. They got Achane, and Achane's great as long as the offense is running smoothly, but he's not a between the tackles runner. They brought in Alexander Madison to be the backup. That's what I'm saying. And so I don't know where this team is going. Their defense is good. I will say that, but I think their offense has taken a step back. And if they don't change, if they don't decide to be something, they can't be dink and dunk like they were last year. Mm-hmm. They have to open the field up. Tyreek's not going to play another season where he's not the center of attention.
Yeah.
So you have that kind of, I won't say cancer in the locker room, but you have that drama in the locker room. And so you have all that going on. So that's where I'm at with them. I think the Dolphins are on the way down. I think this might be McDaniel's last year. And, we'll see.
I mean, they took a little bit of a hit at defense in the trade with the Steelers. They also went out and got an old, I'm not going to say busted because I don't know what he's got and don't have left in Derek Waller for tight end. Darren Waller, yeah.
He's been out so long we forgot his first name.
Forgot his first name. But I mean, it's just like they're not doing anything that shows me that they're getting better. And last year they didn't look good. So I mean, like I said, I got them at 6-11, which is second to last in the division. You got them 7-10, which is still better than what I had them. I guess I just kind of see this division kind of still floundering a little bit.
Yeah.
Me personally,
I think the division. I mean, I don't think they're going to fall off like completely. I think they're 7-10. Excuse me. And good grief. But I don't know. I'm not feeling it with them anymore. And we all know with Tua, he's one big hit away from, Zach Wilson being the starter there for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So, it's just it's gonna really be interesting. So I guess the Patriots are the next on the list. I have the Patriots going 9-8. What do you have them at?
I have them at 5-12.
So you think they're gonna just be ass?
I think they're going to be similar to they were last year. I mean, outside of adding Diggs, I mean, I do expect Drake May to get better, but I also feel like their schedule's a little, I'm just going to say tougher than it was last year,
Right.
if that makes sense. There's a little more for them to work through, and they haven't done enough to show me that they can work through, if that makes sense.
Well,
Drake May can come out and just blow it out of the water. I can see him doing that, but there's too much for me going back and forth on.
Well, for me, I think the
losses.
biggest addition for them in the offseason was Mike Vrabel. Right, Mike Vrabel was very good in Tennessee. He's a really good coach, and as long as he has a competent offensive coordinator, because he's a defensive guy, I think that he can turn a team around. They did not have competent coaching last year, and it showed a lot in the decisions they made. Mike Vrabel's been around this league. He's been in the AFC. And he's a former Patriot player. And then he brought Josh McDaniels back, or Josh McDowell back, to be the offensive coordinator. And he sucks as a head coach, but he's definitely a better offensive coordinator than anything they had last year. And so for me, I look at that plus, the additions they made. You talked about Diggs. They actually brought back Mac Hollins as well. And I just feel like with the addition of that coaching staff, some stability brought back into that organization. I think Drake May is a talent. They went and got Will Campbell in the offseason to try to shore up that O-line, which it's still that O-line is the problem right now.
Yeah.
But they got Travion Henderson, who I think is going to take that job, and he's going to be explosive. Kyle Williams as a third-round wide receiver is looking like somebody that could do something. So I just think that the Patriots are on the upswing, and I think the Dolphins are on the downswing for me.
Yeah.
And based off of, new blood, new coaching, and talent. And I think Drake May is going to go out there, and this year we're going to see why he was drafted number 3 overall last year.
Like I said, it was more of a looking at schedule, and I don't see them. They haven't done much to show me that I feel like they're going to be up and over. I mean, they could be. Like you said, coaching does make a difference, and we don't know what Diggs they're going to get. I mean, if we look at
Diggs to me is actually, I look at Diggs and Tyreek in the same vein of this. They could be a distraction if they're not getting the ball, they're not getting taken care of the way they can, and they could be somebody that could tear the locker room apart. But I look at Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel has dealt with egos like that before. He is someone who doesn't suffer fools. It doesn't seem anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas I think McDaniels down in Miami is somebody who wants to try to be everybody's buddy, and he doesn't know how. Like, I can't imagine him being like stern. Like, oh, you're trying to come in and tell Tyreek not to. Yeah. And so I think that, if I had to count on either one of them to deal with a head case diva receiver, I would put my money on Vrabel, and I think he can handle Diggs better than what McDaniel's been doing with Tyreek.
Yeah.
Is basically where.
No, I get it. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's a lot to be questioned there, but I just, like, looking at the schedule and the matchup, I was just like,
I get it. Yeah.
They finished 4.
If we were all the same, we would be boring.
Yeah.
So.
And it's, I went and looked at last year's schedule, and they're not scheduled, but they're standings, and it's similar to what they did last year. And that's kind of where I feel like they were going to be. So.
Unclean ass last year.
And I mean, it had to do a lot with their lack of run game and the O-line, and, so I mean, they've done a little bit. They added Travion Henderson, which, hopefully I think he's going to be better than Ramondre Stevenson. I haven't really cared for Ramondre since he's been with them, but they use him like he's the man. So I don't know.
Ramondre is like New England DeAndre Swift.
I could see that.
All right. The next is I have the Jets finishing second in the division. And this is where I'm Hey, I'm all in on the Jets.
Put 'em
11-6.
out there.
I got them going 11-6 this year.
I got them 7-10. They're still second in the division, but I mean, it's again, they're going to play the Bills twice. And,
Yeah.
you know, I kind of got them. It could go. There's a lot of different ways. Their defense is so good, and I just don't know that their offense is much better than some of these other ones. You know what I mean? Like, they play the Steelers once this year, and I'm still confused with what the Steelers can be because there's so much talent potential, but we also know Aaron Rodgers can be bunned. So, you know, that could be a loss or a win either way. If Aaron Rodgers is on that game and it becomes a defensive stout, they could lose to the Steelers easily. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but, you know, it could happen.
Man, and Aaron Rodgers would love to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so there's just a lot up in the air with me for the Jets. But I love Garrett Wilson. I love Justin Fields going there. I think it's a good play. I hope it works out. I don't know. I don't remember that. They didn't do a whole lot in the draft that I remember. So,
well, we can look right here. So, so for me, again, it comes down to coaching. I just, well, I don't know how I get to the places I get.
Just go down, and right there.
Yeah, I'm here, but I don't. You know where this tab was?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Oh, this is all their draft picks.
That's the draft picks. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. But you know, they brought in Aaron Glenn, defensive guy.
Yeah.
He's been in the league a long time. He seems, you know, that it's really going to boil down to whether how he's going to manage his team and how much freedom he's going to give his offensive coordinator. They brought in Tanner Engstrand, who no one knows who that guy is. No one's heard that guy's name, but he was the passing coordinator for the Lions, which means he was involved in that offense that
80% of the
Ben
game.
Johnson, that Ben Johnson ran. And so I expect him to try to bring that offense, or at least key pieces of that offense, to the Jets. And then they went out and they got Justin Fields, who I think Justin Fields is talented. If you look at who Justin Fields has had coaching him and the offenses he had to play for, he got to play 1 year for Tomlin, and he wasn't the lead guy. He was 4-2, and Tomlin benched him because he wanted a more explosive pass game. And, you know, to Tomlin's credit, it started out good with Russ, and then Russ turned into Russ and was ass.
He can only cook macaroni and cheese or something. So
in the draft, they went and got Mason Taylor in the second round. Jason Taylor's son, Hall of Famer defensive end, Jason Taylor. Mason Taylor seems like coming out of college, he didn't have a lot of fanfare. He didn't do a ton at LSU, but he seemed like a lot of the quote scouts say he is the most pro ready tight end, or one of the most pro-ready tight ends coming out in the draft based off the style he ran at LSU. They got Arian Smith out of Georgia in the 4th round, who's been making a little bit of noise in training camp, but offensively, they just didn't do much more than that. They focused in other areas they needed to focus in.
Well, they signed their guys. I mean, they signed Gardner, they signed Wilson. You know, they're holding their defense and all their key pieces together to make it all work. You know,
and then they gave Justin Fields a 2-year, $40 million deal. 30 fully guaranteed. So they told him, you're going to be the starter. So he's going to be
this next year. You are the guy.
Yes.
So
and so I'm hoping that this new offensive coordinator, this new style, is going to come in and he's going to be able to merge the two things, Justin Fields things together: his ability to run, but also his ability to pass. He's going to help him understand he's got to get rid of the ball quicker. He's got to make his reads quicker and hopefully simplify that offense. They brought in like Josh Reynolds, Tyler Johnson, or, you know, stuff like that. But Garrett Wilson getting paid, that's a big deal. That dude's, you know, a beast. You got Breece Hall, who had a down year last year, who before that was everybody's like, this dude's the GOAT.
He's the man.
Yeah. And then he had a down year and everybody's like, nah, fuck Breece. It's like, I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, like, hold up a second. Yeah. I mean, but also too, I mean, Braylon Allen behind him isn't no schlub either.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's kind of somebody to kind of look at. I've been looking like deep in drafts to, if nothing but a handcuff, you know, like, because Breece is a good running back and he just needs time to shine. They played with shitty quarterback play last year. They were kind of all over the place. They just weren't collective.
And the big issue right now is who's going to be that second receiver on the outside. Is it going to be oh my God,
it's going to be Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
it's going to be Garrett Wilson on both sides, and Garrett Wilson out of the slot, and Garrett Wilson might be out of the backfield. I don't know.
the draft pick was Aeneas, or is that what I get? There's two guys that I get confused from last year's draft. One with the Eagles and one with the Jets.
Oh man, I know who you're talking about too. Because I went and picked him up off of waivers 2 days ago.
Let's see. Well, the Alan Lazard, Arians. Well, that's the rookie. Oh, I wasn't even close. Malachi Corley.
That's it.
Yeah. So is it going to be Malachi Corley? Like I said, Arian Smith has been making waves in camp, but they don't really have anybody. Like I said, you got Josh Reynolds there, who's just a journeyman.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, he's a guy.
He's one that's there's gonna be 2 weeks when everybody's gonna be pissed that they didn't have Josh Reynolds.
Yes.
And other than that, he's not gonna be worth anything.
You're gonna be like, you wouldn't have started him anyway.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. It's gonna be a week where you can play DFS.
Right.
Pay whatever it is and play him every week just in case.
And so is Lazard going to step up and be a serviceable number 2 receiver? Is Arian Smith going to step up? Is Malachi Corley going to finally show what he can do? Because I'm pretty sure he was a 2nd-round pick last year. And so, that's the big question mark right now. And then, of course, at tight end, is Mason Taylor going to be what he can be? You got Stone Smart, who to me is a sneaky ad in a lot of dynasty leagues because he showed a little bit last year with the Chargers whenever he had to step up. And so, excuse me. If they do bring that Ben Johnson offense there, they do like to utilize the tight end. So we're gonna have to see how that all pans out. But there's pieces to be had here in the fantasy realm, and I think this team, their defense is very good, and that's another reason why it's easy for me to look and see if they can just be a competent offense, which they have not been in 3 to 4 years with this defense. If they can just be a competent offense, they were giving the Bills a run for their money with Zach Wilson at times. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, if they can just be competent, they can really compete in this division with these other teams. It's like, maybe they don't beat the Bills twice, but they can beat the Patriots and Dolphins twice.
Yeah. Oh, and I think they got an end of the year match with the Bills, so that could easily be the Bills not playing their starters.
Yeah.
Or something. I try to figure that in as well, but. Yeah, no, I do like them. I do think they're moving in the right direction finally. Because 2 years ago we were talking about how much of a joke they were, and
and I think that's another thing is that if you look at what the team was doing over the last few years, they were bringing in coaches that weren't proven.
Yeah,
they were bringing in players that were old and busted that they thought was going to revive this team. And now they're putting their focus in the right place. They went and got a young electric quarterback who's been kind of shuffled around over the last few years. And for a budget, it's a budget price for what Justin Fields could potentially do to get him on a 2-year, $40 million deal. That's a budget pickup.
Oh yeah. Well, and if I'm not mistaken, coming out of college, he was more known for his passing than his rushing, wasn't he? And it wasn't until he was in the NFL that he ran a lot more.
No, I mean, coming out of Ohio State, he was known to be a good passer for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But he definitely used his legs a lot.
I figured he ran. I just I don't watch college, but I was just trying to think back. I mean, it's been
his biggest issue in the NFL hasn't really necessarily been his accuracy as much as it's been his processing.
Figuring out where his reads are and throwing instead of running.
And throwing instead of running and getting rid of the ball quick. Mm-hmm. Drop back, go through your progressions, get rid of the ball. And so he just, I think that he needs somebody, a coach who can focus on that and create an offense that's going to help him be able to go through those reads very quick. It's kind of like what was going on with Bryce. Bryce Young with the Panthers. It's like they don't want him back there. They want him to go 2.7 seconds, I think is the max they want. Yeah. They want him to go boom, boom, boom. If there's nothing there, get out of the pocket. And if you can't make anything happen, get what you can, get out of bounds. Yep. And it's a real simple kind of, you got this guy, and it's not a complex, it's not difficult. And I think if they simplify it for Justin, he can go out there and then they can build upon it. If you look at also what they did with Geno when he went out to Seattle, they simplified the offense. They didn't overcomplicate things. I think sometimes these coordinators, they want to be super fucking complicated, and it's like, bro, there's only so many routes a receiver can run. Oh yeah, you can only have so many receivers out there on the field. Yeah, we don't need 9 pages of terminology like McVay does. Yeah, or freaking what's his name in San Francisco. And it's like, let's simplify this down, and then as they become accustomed to it, we can grow that.
Yeah,
you know?
add more on and kind of build off of it instead
right,
of,
and then utilize your guys like Brees and Garrett Wilson, you know, and hyper target these guys and make them do what they're good at doing, and earn the money that they're being paid. So
exactly, especially now. I mean, they're they're writing checks now. So that's good news.
All right. Well, we'll go with the top team easily. We've both picked, and that's the Bills. I've got them at 13-4.
Same.
Yeah. So the one thing we got right, of course, they went. You know, you got the man, the myth, the legend. You got Josh Allen there. They didn't do a ton offensively in the draft. It was all about defense.
It's crazy. They need so much on offense and so much on defense, in my opinion. Like,
well,
Josh Allen is their offense right now.
They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of their 9 picks?
Yeah, 9 picks
were on defensive.
And I've heard a couple of them are doing pretty good. I'm low key excited about it. I'm glad they did this as a, you know, Bills fan or whatever.
Right.
I'm glad they didn't just go out there and do something stupid like trying to draft all the receivers and running back, you know, trying to diversify it and all. But they went and fixed the big issue, because I can't tell you how many times last year I was looking at a game going, we have no defense whatsoever. Like, it's depressing.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be up 14 points and it's 7 seconds left in the 14th quarter, and I'm like, or fourth quarter, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna lose. Like, you know, especially playing against like Kansas City or
they
some of these.
were good last
No,
year.
they did good. I know, but there were some games that just weren't good enough. Like, you shouldn't have to put up 40 points to win.
Yeah.
And some games they had to against schlub teams,
right?
Because their defense was just giving away points. I mean, it was
and they definitely focus on that. But you know, there was no big off-season signings either on
just
offense.
Joey Bosa was the only thing that was.
Well, yeah, him being signed as an edge rusher, but I'm talking on the offensive side.
Oh, yeah.
Elijah Moore, Josh Palmer were the two biggest signings, I guess.
And we'll talk about them a little later.
Okay.
Just
I will say Elijah Moore is interesting to me. I'm not gonna in redraft. I'm not really looking at either one of them.
No.
But in Dynasty, there maybe I take a flyer. Khalil Shakir. He seems to be your like very, very poor man's Amon-Ra St. Brown type receiver.
He gets the
and maybe he
targets.
steps up this year. Maybe he went and got a 4-year extension, $60 million, so 32 guaranteed. So hopefully that gives him a little incentive. Maybe he steps up, and the rapport that gets built more between Josh Allen and Shakir. So we'll see how that goes. And then the big news is James Cook. What's going to happen with that? He wants to get paid. They don't want to pay him. I think they understand that they have a backup that's probably better. You know,
at least ground game. Yes, I would say he could potentially be better. Yeah, Ray Davis is definitely could potentially be, and they've got a couple of like I don't like Ty Johnson, but he's not a bad gadget guy. Like coming out of the backfield,
NFL wise, Ty Johnson's great.
That's what I'm saying. Like as far as like they're kind of
he's like a JD McKissick.
It's like don't ever say that again. No, it's I don't even know if that's the one I don't like.
Or McKinnon.
It might be one of those two.
McKinnon.
He's like one of those guys. But I feel like they're looking at it like we have Ray Davis and we have Ty Johnson. We have both sides of that elite running back covered. So why not use Ty in the third down? Use Ray Davis as the 1-2. Why do we
Ty
need
Johnson was running around as like wide receivers last
that's
year.
what I'm saying. Like
this dude in the pass game was absolutely eating.
So they signed him to a cheap contract. They still got Ray Davis on a rookie contract from last year. So I mean, I just feel like they didn't want to dump a bunch of money when they've got somebody that can fill that role. And that's why, I mean, we'll talk about James Cook later too, but you know, it's definitely.
I've been trying to get rid of James Cook in Dynasty because he just feels like to me, and I may be wrong. I know that he was great last year. He had a ton of touchdowns. He did what he had to do. But he just feels like to me one of those running backs that in 2 years we're going to be like, you know, whatever happened to James Cook?
If he ends up on a team like without the rushing threat of a quarterback, if he goes to somewhere like Miami or he goes to somewhere like That's why he got.
He couldn't be Gibbs.
That's what I'm saying. No, there's no way.
Yeah, so if he went to now he wouldn't go to Detroit, but if he ended up on a team like Detroit where the quarterback is a statue, the Rams, he does not have that skill set.
The reason he had 16 touchdowns last year is because they were watching Allen first and Cook second.
Yeah.
So there's probably 5 of those touchdowns he got that Allen could have taken in.
Right.
If that makes sense. They were so guarded on the threat that Josh Allen poses anywhere within 8 yards of with the goal line.
Right.
He got that work, and that's why he finished so high.
And I'm worried this year, taking him, I don't even know where he's going ADP right now.
It's really high. It's a lot higher than I would imagine trying to reach or trying to grab him at.
And so my issue with that is effectively I think they're going to incorporate Davis a whole lot more into the game, and I don't think they're going to especially if they don't give him a contract. Yeah, right now he's going off at RB14.
Yeah.
I'd
take Kenneth Walker over him.
And I don't even like Kenneth Walker.
Neither do I.
Yeah. I mean, Chuba, I would take Chuba over him. I'd take Joe Mixon, James Conner.
Yep.
All those guys over Cook right now because I don't want to pay for what he did last year because I don't think he's going to match that.
Yeah. No, he's not going.
I don't even think he gets double-digit touchdowns this year.
And that's my worry is if the defenses start slowing him down at all, just a little bit, then all of a sudden Allen gets those 4 or 5 touchdowns instead of Cooks, and now he gets.
Or if they
10.
just start using Davis more, and Davis becomes the goal line guy, because he's more of a hammer type back
downhill
anyway.
guy, downhill kind of guy.
And so James Cook's not really built for that. He did it good. He was good at it last year, but that's not really. Up until last year, wasn't really his style.
It wasn't, yeah. And like I said, he had so much open space. If you go back and look at I watched a collaboration or whatever, a video of all of his touchdowns he had last year, and I want to say
compilation.
Yeah, that one. Out of the majority,
I don't know that word because I have not seen it on any other. I've never seen the word compilation on any other site other than sports sites. No other site puts together any sort of compilations. Yeah. I don't know what that means.
I just feel like with 16 touchdowns, I want to say that 5 of them were he earned, if that makes sense. He hit the defender, went 12 yards. He had 2 that were 40, 50 yards, but he didn't even get touched at the line because the defenders were so worried about what Allen was going to do.
He's still kind of earned. I mean, I don't want to complain because he's still got to have the vision.
I'm not taking away from I'm not taking away from him, but when it's
no, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, if anybody with eyes could have made that.
That's what I'm saying.
And
it could have been Ty Johnson if he was sitting there. You know what I mean? Or it could have been Ray Davis if he was sitting there.
Johnson, because I'm pretty sure James Cook missed a couple games and Ty Johnson balled out.
And that's all I'm saying. There's no reason that you can pay a guy $50 billion when you got a guy that only wants $10 billion to do the same exact job, if that makes sense. So that's why I feel like I'm kind of fading James Cook if we want to talk about that in any way.
So I'm trying to look. I want to make sure I'm not losing my mind because I do remember some games where Ty Johnson was an absolute monster.
He had 2 passing touchdowns in one game, I think.
So there's a game where he had no carries, but he had 2 receptions for 55 yards and a touchdown. And so, I take it back on the running thing. There were no games.
It's more of a passing.
It's definitely all passing. All his good games were he caught touchdown passes.
He's that third down.
But he had one game where he caught 5 balls. 5 targets for 114 yards. That's the game that stuck in my head.
Yeah.
So no touchdowns that game,
and like I said, he's not somebody that you're going to go
I'm giving Ty Johnson a little bit more credit now that I've looked at it.
It feels like
that one game where because I remember there was a couple of those catches where I'm just like, damn, there's a lot of wide receiver couldn't have made those catches.
Exactly. No, trust me, I get caught up in that as well, especially watching the Bills and stuff like that. I hear his name. I went to try to get him in a couple places for no reason because I'm an idiot. But, I mean, and it was after I got rejected and nobody wanted to trade him that I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to reevaluate this. And it's
they were saving you from yourself.
That's exactly what happened. I mean, they were it was dude, calm down. Do you really want to do this? And it made me wake up. But, I mean, I just think that, you can have 2 guys do the same job as one guy and it work efficiently. You know what I mean? And I think that's what the Bills are thinking too.
I really think that they don't. Running backs are a dime a dozen now, which is part of the issue with these guys getting these contracts. And unless you have a special talent.
Yeah.
A Saquon Barkley, a CMC,
Jahmyr Gibbs,
a Derrick
man.
Henry, a
Derrick
Jahmyr
Henry,
Gibbs.
yeah.
Well, unless you have an elite special Bijan type talent,
Yep.
you don't want to pay that second contract, and you're damn sure don't want to extend him when you still got a year left. It's like, bitch, play your last year, and we'll let you go find you a contract somewhere else.
But he did show up to practice, though.
Yeah,
so at least he's not holding out. He
may hold in, but he's definitely
not.
Yeah, I think he didn't show up to OTAs, but he's at training camp and all that, and so
at least that's a good sign.
I think ultimately they're either going to give him a 1 year incentive laden deal, or they're going to say play your contract and we'll deal with it next year, and the next year they're going to drop him unless he balls again.
Yeah. If you get 15 touchdowns this year,
and if he does it all again, then
dude,
they'll
we'll
probably
sign
pay
you
him.
twice. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, from that, let's move to our smash, our pass, and our sleepers again. Our smash is a guy that we're trying to get in drafts. We try to avoid the top end. Obviously, Josh Allen's a smash.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Bijan's a smash.
These guys so we try to avoid those unless we just really think, so we will.
I'll
pick
spend
those
the
guys.
1-1.
Yes. If we really think those guys are going to dominate on a like a special level, and then a pass is a guy that I just don't want for whatever reason. And then our sleeper obviously is what a sleeper is somebody who's down in the draft order, and we think is going to finish way higher than where they're being drafted. So
exactly.
Go ahead and kick it off with whichever one you want to tell us about.
My wide receiver smash is Garrett Wilson.
I love it.
That's my smash in general is Garrett Wilson. Out of this, I looked over all the teams. I looked over everything that's in this division, and I'm like, I honestly, I wouldn't feel bad right now. He's going off as wide receiver 15, 33 overall. And honestly, shit, I'd probably draft him around 12.
Shit, I'd draft him. I would have to sit down and look at what you said. If there was a device.
Yeah. He says wide receiver 15, according to what I'm looking at.
All right, so let me see who the top 10 are right now. So I'm not taking him over Jamar, Jefferson, CD, Malik, Puka.
I might take him over Puka.
Here's where
I'll take him over Nico.
So you got
too.
Nico's 7, Brian Thomas.
I'd probably take Brian Thomas.
That's close.
It's close.
I'd take Drake. I'd take him over Drake London. Take him over AJ Brown, Ladd, Tyreek. So for me, right there, that 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that area is where he should be.
I'm very similar in that aspect. And if you can get him at 13, 28 overall, according to that list, I don't know what list I'm looking at is different, but it's pretty close. I just feel like this is going to be the year. I mean, they signed him to a contract. They got him. They got a decent who we've seen. He put DJ Moore as a top 10 wide receiver for a little bit. Justin Fields did.
Yeah.
With the Bears and stuff. So, I mean, he has the potential.
That was with a horrific coaching.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the potential of Garrett Wilson finishing top 6 in the league overall. And he could have finished higher than that if him and Fields click and the offense clicks, So, I mean, I'm not going to pass up in any way on an elite receiver. You can just see the talent. This guy's got talent. Just watch a game. Watch him play. And that's all I'm going to say, because dude is just he's too good. And now he's getting paid.
And he's got paid, and so they've invested in him.
Smash all day.
So they're going to be like, we need some return on this investment. So I'm with it.
Smash all day.
Well, I'm with the Jets too. My smash is Breece Hall.
Okay.
I know that Breece had a down year last year. He was hurt a little bit, and the team was Rodgers a little bit.
Yeah, it was definitely a Mr. Rogers neighborhood for a little while.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. And so he was ass.
Well, they got him going off as running back 13.
Yeah.
I mean, at 32 overall. I mean, come on.
If you think about where he's going off at 13, so Kyron Williams above him, I would take him over Kyron. I would take him over Chase Brown. I'd take him over Josh Jacobs. I'd take him over Bucky Irvin. I wouldn't take him over Jonathan Taylor, but I'd take him over Devon Achane. So right here at 7-8, that's where he, in my mind, I would be willing to take him. 2 years ago, he finished in a half-point PPR. He finishes the running back 4. Just based off of how, quote, bad he was last year, where do you think he finished in a half-point PPR?
15.
Oh, you're close. He finished at 17. In your mind, you feel like he was in the 20s.
Like, no, I'm just going, like, I remember the games. He had some big games, and I remember that, but I also know half point PPR isn't what's always in my. I always think full point because most of what I'm in is full point. So he probably finished better. Probably finished around 15 in full point, right?
In full point, he was 16. And 2 years ago, he was number 2 in full point.
Yeah, I know
because he had 76 receptions 2 years ago, and he had 57 receptions last year. That's what he brings to the table, along with his rushing ability. Well, and here's the thing: he has yet to break 1,000 yards in a season.
How many games did he play
finished? Last year he played 16 games.
Okay, so
and he played 17 the year before.
Season, so
yeah. But 2 years ago he finished 4th. He only had 994 rushing yards, only 5 rushing touchdowns, but he had 76 receptions, another 500 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he's like a big lots CMC.
He is.
And so with the potential to grow beyond that.
Yeah.
And if you have a competent offense and you have a competent quarterback who's not trying to get his best friend every fucking pass in the end zone.
Tell me about it.
Then you can finally get an offense running the best way.
Friends, because they had Lazard and Devontae Adams there.
And then you take into consideration that right now there's no solidified number 2 receiver on that team. There's nobody who's going to demand tons of targets. So right now it seems as though Brees could be the number 2 receiver on that team.
That is very true.
You know, and so I'm all about Brees this year. I've been trying to get him everywhere, and the good news is I don't have to pay nearly what I think he's going to be. I can get him in the 3rd round, and I feel really good about that.
That's a hell of a smash. Hell yeah!
All right, my pass is Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
It's not even really about his ADP. I think his ADP is fine. To be honest with you, if I can get him at more of a value, then maybe I invest because of what he can potentially do. But he's 31?
Yeah, is he that young?
He's 31. He's coming off a major injury at that age, and I think that Drake May is good enough to get him the ball. I think that offense is good enough to get him the ball. I don't know that he is good enough to demand the targets anymore. That's my big thing with him. He is, you look at a guy like Tyreek. Tyreek is about the same age, but his is about speed. Speed doesn't die as quick as, if you don't have that elite speed, but you have to go out there and get separation. You have to be a very good route runner, and you have to do all those things. Well, that involves a lot of quick twitch kind of cutting stuff that does die.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That could definitely fade away.
Real quick as you get older. And so I mean, he's wide receiver 43, 88 overall. I mean, you're getting him in the 7th round.
Yeah.
At that. And so math is hard.
6th or 7th, yeah.
Yeah. So
if you're looking at 12, we're talking 12.
12, yeah. So 7 is 84.
Yeah.
So you're getting him at the end of the 7th round. Or you're getting him at the 8th round then.
In the early 8th, yeah.
Early 8th.
Early 8th round.
Math.
Yeah, we talked about it before the podcast. I was kind of debating on putting him on as my sleeper just because of how low they have him and his potential.
His potential, yes.
I mean, you look at what he did even last year, which I thought was his 2nd year with Texans. I'll admit it, I'm fucked that up. But first year with the Texans in 8 games, he was averaging like 8-9 targets a game.
Right.
And, he was still putting up an average of 12 points per game. There were some bad games, but still, like, I don't know. I don't feel New England is a good landing spot for him. I don't know that he's going to fit their scheme.
I just think if he doesn't get fed, he's going to be a baby.
There's going to be a lot of locker room drama, I'm sure.
And that's going to happen. That probably weighs more into my analysis.
Especially if he doesn't come back off the injury very well. Like if there's issues, like if
the injury and the diviness is kind of where
it could definitely work. I understand it. Trust me. I have no argument with him being a pass. I do kind of still lean towards him potentially being a sleeper. I mean,
I can understand
at that value.
That.
I mean, if you can get a wide receiver 43 and he gets you wide receiver 20 numbers or 28 numbers.
Well, let's just look who's being drafted under him. Would you take Jaden Reed or Stephon Diggs?
Probably Diggs.
Cup or Diggs?
Diggs.
Golden or Diggs?
I'd take Golden. Just
Josh
I think
Downs
he's going to get a lot
Diggs?
of targets. I hate who's throwing him the ball, no matter who it is. I might take Diggs.
Michael Pittman or Diggs?
Michael Pittman. I think he's going to have I'm probably going to put him.
See, I would take Jaden Higgins over Diggs.
I would take Higgins too. Like I take Keon Coleman over him. Because I think Coleman has to be. He doesn't have to be the one, but he's got to step up this year.
He has. I mean, they didn't go and replace him.
They didn't get anybody worth a shit.
You know, they replaced Leggett essentially in Carolina.
Yeah,
and they didn't replace Keon. So
exactly,
he's going to get one more shot to be the dude.
So this is a tough. I'd say from like 39 to 54, it could go a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I really like Ricky Pearsall this year, but. You know, I'm not super sold on Debo Samuel up top there. Like,
yeah. I would take Pearsall over Debo.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot going on in this vicinity that kind of goes back and forth. But
right.
I mean, speaking for that, I'll go with my pass. We talked about him earlier, James Cook.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like where they got him going off is way too high to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think
running back 14.
Which I think honestly, I'm gonna call my shot. He's gonna finish as like running back 20. This year, as long as he plays and everything goes well, because I think we're going to see more of what he was his rookie year, like where he gets stuck. Because now they realize that Allen's still a threat, but Cook is. We can't not watch Cook because he's going to run it in if we can. So and they didn't do anything to jam up the defenses to make them think, hey, we might use this guy or this guy. So I think that if Cook's on the field, they're going to kind of shut him down before anybody else.
So Cook 2 years ago had 237 rushing attempts. He had 207 rush attempts last year. He was obviously way more efficient in the touchdown department, but not even in the rush department. So he was more efficient with his.
He had a lot of bigger runs.
Right. He had less targets and less catches.
Yes.
And so but you also got to think about this. Is that Ray Davis was a rookie last year?
Yep.
He only had 113 attempts. So if you boost him up, if you say we're going to get him 160 attempts, well, you just stole those attempts all away from James Cook.
And what was his?
Now he's going to be down. If you take that away, then that means they're both going to be around 160. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, but he was he only averaged just under 4, so he wasn't great with that. But he caught 17 of 19 targets. If you boost his targets up to say 35 targets and he catches 30 of them based off of this percentage.
Yeah.
And so my biggest issue with James Cook is that I think Davis is going to cut into that.
Yeah.
As long as he's productive. Now, if he's ass and James Cook proves himself, then I'll eat crow. Well, not literally, because crow's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Also, they hold grudges. If you kill one and it's like his best friend, that crow's going to haunt you the rest of your life because you killed his buddy and
I'm fine with that. I don't care. But I will say too, Davis's numbers might be a little like not inflated, but he played, like the very last game he had 15 carries, which I don't even think Cook's hardly played in. They had already had
the last game. Yeah, that was the last.
So I mean,
they benched Cook. They benched
exactly. They benched all their starters. So I mean, if you take 15 away, if you give him 15 other like earlier, it might have been a better situation. So if he gets more opportunity earlier in the game and everything, it could be a lot. It could turn out a lot better for
him. And be if they start using it more as a split backfield as opposed
to all Cook or whatever.
Yeah. And so that's my biggest thing is I just think Dave's going to cut into his production.
It very well could. Definitely.
All right. Well, who's your sleeper?
I kind of put 2 sleepers on here just because I didn't want I looked through everybody and your sleeper's a good sleeper, but I went with either Josh Palmer or Elijah Moore. And here's my reasoning.
I'm not even going to look up their ADP because it's going to be low as balls.
Josh Palmer is 70, wide receiver 72, and Elijah Moore is wide receiver 97.
Yep, I said, low as balls.
But if you just look at let's look at Mac Hollins last year, he's similar to position wise as what Joshua Palmer would play, but not Elijah Moore. But freaking Mac Hollins finished out as like wide receiver 56 or something like that, which is 26 and 46 higher than both of these guys.
He finished 79.
He finished that low?
Yeah.
Well, even still at 79, if you go with Elijah Moore, that's way. I think Elijah Moore kind of fits what they're looking for, where they thought they were getting out of Curtis Samuel. that whole, small slot gadgety kind of guy, play him out of the backfield and all that stuff. And I got a good feeling, like it's gut mostly, but I think Elijah Moore is going to kind of fit their scheme.
If I had to pick one of them, for me, it's definitely Elijah Moore. Josh Palmer, I had tons of opportunity with the Chargers he played with Keenan Allen out. He played with Mike Williams out.
Yep.
And
the
then,
guy.
Yeah, and then last year, he was the other receiver when they drafted Ladd. They had Josh Palmer was supposed to be the dude because, Quentin
Johnson
was ass.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do anything.
He couldn't come up with
at
any
no
of it.
point has Josh Palmer ever been able to step up into the fold when he's had the opportunity. He's just been meh. He hasn't even been like average. He's just been garbage.
Yeah. And Elijah Moore, you can get him in 264 overall.
Yes.
Like you can get him
You can take him off waivers.
You can get him off waivers.
Yeah.
And this guy can potentially get you up to like he'd be a great flex play. Like,
yeah, he could potentially because
they need that piece.
The biggest thing that what the Bills have is opportunity.
Yeah.
There's no solidified anything outside of Khalil Shakir. Keon Coleman isn't even solidified.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he may step up, but even if he steps up and Shakir steps up, there's still an opportunity for somebody else based off of that offense. They needed somebody else last year. You looked at Josh Allen's passing numbers. They took a huge dip after Diggs left.
Yeah, they really
they thought Curtis Samuel was going to be something, and all he was garbage.
Curtis Samuel, but if you look before that, when they had like Cole Beasley, or they had Jamison Crowder, or they had these like slot receivers, these guys that are like all over the place.
The only thing I'll say against it is Khalil Shakir is also that guy.
Yeah, no, I know. But I just feel like James Palmer's more or played more. Maybe they switch him up. And
Palmer's more the outside.
They take him off the outside and put him in the slot, put him somewhere on the short distance or something. But Elijah Moore kind of thrived in that short distance.
He does.
Get out, get open, and turn up the field. But I'm hoping that's what they need, and he works out.
And maybe the Ken Dorsey figures out how to utilize him in a way that offense is best for that offense, more of a gadgety, because I really think that's what they wanted Curtis Samuel to be based off of what he did in Carolina, where he was like a running back at times, where he was catching balls and behind the line,
exactly,
and things like that, and he was like a wide receiver 20-something for a long time at Carolina, and then he just kind of turned into doo-doo after that.
He fell off.
Yeah, with
went
injury,
to
and
we went to Washington for a little bit and was kind of
he had his moments,
there,
and then it was gone.
But I feel like one of these two guys has got to hit and do better than what they're being drafted at. I mean,
absolutely.
Wide receiver 72 and wide receiver 97. Like I said, I would definitely take Elijah Moore over it. But I've been on the Elijah Moore boat for years, and I don't really know. I don't know. He just seems like he should be better
because you've seen him do things where you're just like, man, that's really good. But then you also see him get tackled 4 times behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know. I'm all mixed up.
He'll have one play where he breaks 2 tackles when he should have got tackled for a loss, and he'll get like a 26-yard reception, and then he'll have 4 straight plays where he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
You don't even see him touch the ball, really. I don't know. I feel like there's something there, and I mean, at what you're getting him at, I mean, it just seems like all upside. One of the two can potentially.
I mean, my sleeper, I like my sleeper too, but yours is truly a sleeper. That's some Baker Bottoms type shit.
It's the depth, man. It's I'm looking for somebody and I have Keon Coleman so many places. It's like I've already got Keon, so I might as well grab Elijah Moore for free and sit on him in case Keon goes down.
It's a super cheap stack too. If you've got Josh Allen, and you don't have Shakir or Keon, and you're just like, fuck it, I'll take a flyer and see if I can get this other guy and see what he does.
I would grab Elijah Moore. I feel like from what I've seen, he's more talented than Josh Palmer, but who knows? Sometimes these receivers go to a new organization, they get somebody tells them something different, and they just open up, and it's all new. But so I don't want to count him out. I don't want to go, I've never seen him do shit, so he sucks. So they are paying him more. He's got a 36 or I want to say it's like a $12 million a year contract for 3 years, and then Elijah Moore's only got a 5-year, 1-year deal. So, or $5 million 1-year deal. So I feel like they're thinking Palmer's going to be better, but you don't know until they get out on the field and everything. So,
well, my sleeper again, going back to the Jets. I'm all in on the Jets. Push the chips to the middle, and for the sake of I don't fucking like the Jets. I've never liked the Jets. But
not a Jets fan, but you're a talent fan.
Yes. Justin Fields is my sleeper. He's going up as quarterback 14 and 100th overall. And the thing about Justin Fields is when he plays, when he's the starter, and they put all the faith in him, he puts up numbers. 2022, he was the QB7 on the season, and he was not very good at passing, but he ran for over 1,000 yards. I'm expecting them to try to balance him, but I'm expecting him to become a better passer overall. And even if not, his rush ability, if he has the confidence of a team, he has not had the confidence of a team really since he's been in the league. But since that second year in, where they're like, we're really going to put the faith in you, with a terrible coaching staff on a terrible team, and he went out there and was great for fantasy. The next year, they obviously didn't have confidence in him, and then, of course, they drafted Caleb Williams, sent him to Pittsburgh. He played 6 games there, was decent, and then they're like, nah, go sit down. But now he's on a team that believes in him, and that's the biggest thing. I think Justin Fields is going to go out there, and I think he's going to far exceed the 14. I think he has the potential to be somewhere around 7 or 8. Yeah. A QB 7 or 8, just like he finished 2 years ago, which would be great if you get him at 100, because right now the 7th QB going off right now is Baker Mayfield at 57. Yeah. And so, you're getting a guy 50 picks, almost 50 picks after that will finish where you could, where Baker, he could finish above Baker, because I think Baker's going to regress. And so he's definitely my sleeper. I've been trying to get him in a lot of drafts. The problem is that there's other people in my life who also believe him to be a sleeper, and they are taking him, and it's pissing me off.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Are you calling me out right now?
Yes,
is that what you're doing?
I am absolutely calling you out.
It had everything to do with Garrett Wilson.
It was retaliation.
No, it's okay. I'll be all right with whoever I got.
I took Evan Ingram at tight end, and knowing that you had 2 picks. And then you took Fields.
I did. I took Fields as my second QB.
Oh, God, it hurt. It hurt bad.
I knew he wouldn't make it back to me, so I had to jump then.
Terrell's also sniped me a lot in this draft, and I'm pretty angry at him as well. But yeah, so Justin Fields is my sleeper. I think that at the end of this year, next year, everybody's going to be like, holy shit, we got to get Justin Fields. Dude is amazing. Kind of like what it was when he had that good year.
I went and bought like 12 or 13 of his rookies and his graded stuff, just because it's on the low right now.
Yeah.
And if he has any kind of season at all, and they talk about contract extensions and stuff, like if they make playoffs next year.
Oh, yeah. If he balls out, they're going to extend him.
That's what I'm saying. If they make playoffs next year, what I just spent can septuple. Like we can make hella money off of this.
And the thing is I just have this feeling we're not dealing with the Jets of old. Yeah. I think that they have made a conscious change in the organization on how they do things. They've been drafting better. They've been signing, like what they just did with these contracts.
They're paying the right people.
Well, they're paying them at the right time, too.
Yeah, exactly.
You're always better to be the first one to be paying as opposed to the last. You look what the Cowboys have done with CD.
Oh, yeah.
They had to pay him so much. If they'd have paid him last year, they'd have got in first, and he would have been cheaper than what everybody else is. But they wait till the market blows up, then they pay. And what the Jets have done is they're like, we're going to get in, but we're going to get in before the market, buy ourselves a couple years, and then deal with it down the road. So, and so I really like what they're doing. And so, call me crazy, but I'm in on the Jets, and I'm in on their position players, especially Brees, Garrett, and Fields.
Hell yeah.
Well, there it is. There's the AFC East. Next week we'll be breaking down the AFC North, and our opinions on all that shit. So if anything we say or do helps you get to that average place in your league, that means we did our job, because as the saying goes, when you finish average,
you don't finish last.
That's exactly right. And that means we did our job. So we hope you guys are having a good one out there. Drafts for the redrafts are getting ready to kick off here in the next month or so. So things are starting to get starting to pick up. Football's starting at the end of this month, I believe, with preseason games. Mm-hmm. So it's right around the corner. It's right around
I'm so excited.
the corner.
So excited.
So y'all be good.
Later.
Holla.